I want to just emphasize that what I see from what actually happened at the Trump-Putin summit is that Trump, to his credit, with his fluid personality and adaptive and also giving and caring personality, those sides of him, was able to confront the fact, the reality that the threats and the false masculine authoritarian pressures that he was still feeling pulled into to put upon Russia are not going to work. My sense is that Putin was just extremely solid in his presence, might have been gently aggressive or just very direct about this is what it is, and that's not going to change. And Trump had to digest that and sit with that. And the storylines had to reconfigure around it, and they're still reconfiguring, and there's a lot of lies and a lot of, that's not what actually happened, and blah, 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 but there was a huge shift that did occur. I think that's why we see such a somber and reflective version of Trump at that meeting. So we already got a glimpse of where Zelensky is at, and it's, again, there's competing interests, lack of coherence in their communication that reveals the fact that this is not going to result in an agreement or a resolution or a mutual understanding of any kind between any of the parties. And as I alluded to before, that's not a surprise because the narratives are simply false. Basically, all of the narratives are false. Because the actual bulk of the story starts in 2014 with the Maidan coup and the US backing it. And that's what we're seeing the aftermath of and the continuing conflict of. And as long as that is not addressed, there's not going to be a resolution of anything. And that's what Putin is referring to, as far as I can tell, when he says we have to get to the root causes of this issue. And for that to happen, we have to go through the process of the spiritual awakening of the Western world, which is what is underway as far as I'm concerned. So these conflicts and these global stories are a direct reflection of that process, and I will continue to talk about it from that perspective. So stay tuned. There's an interesting astrological story that I have mentioned before that actually captures this, it seems, which is the Neptune-Saturn conjunction in Aries, February 20th of 2026, and it also coincides with when the New START treaty expires, apparently on February 5th, 2026. But Neptune is the idealism. It's Trump's genuine desire for this to end. But then there's Saturn, the reality of what's going on the ground and what needs to happen to get to that ideal. And so the new cycle with Aries involved, which is forward, aggressive, sometimes impulsive movement. And it is possible to interpret that as escalating violence on the side of the US as well as they try to go towards their ideal, because there's going to be defenses that kick in. There's a reason why we weren't able to let things be in the world. We had all sorts of attachments and investments we made emotionally for various reasons, and those are going to be surfacing and the defenses are going to be kicking in. And because we're dealing with the military and fighting and violence, and because of the energies of the administration and their stated ideals right now, which is that they want a stronger military, a stronger presence. They say peace through strength, but it is the mentality of we will punish you, we will force ourselves onto you if things don't go the way that we want it to. And that's what Aries can do.